Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
And we get the back view of him. And I mean, it's just a mega.
52 yards is a long shot. Magnum PI, what we named him. No idea.
Just a magnum.
Yeah, just a magnum.
Come on cam last year, we said probably 150, mid 150.
Yeah.
Same doe from the morning come out with that 9-pointer.
Here steps out this 90-inch 8-pointer. You're like,
I'm like, okay, well, there's still a buck back there grunting.
Yeah.
And then out steps like another 90-inch 8-pointer. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm like, deer, right there.
Yeah, like
and he's already
yards.
30 yards.
Yeah.
He was literally 5 yards from the base of the tree. Could have been, had a buck down at 1:40 in the afternoon, back there deep on public. 3 does come out pretty early. It was like 245, 24-yard shot, sent to combat veteran, and I tell you what, man, dude, it just smoked. We always get so jacked up when the other person kills. It's just almost like we got it done.
Yeah. And when you killed that doe, I was like, hell yeah, man.
And we come down here to Missouri.
I asked Comey one more time. I'm like, is it a good buck? And he goes, yeah, real good, solid buck. I'm like, all right, boom. And the deer just drops. Sure. Super special meat.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy. Baller rut.
All right, welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast. The people that are watching this on YouTube are probably like, man, these guys are going to change clothes and they're in different rooms. So we recorded this episode a couple weeks ago. We're doing the intro now just so we could hit you guys with the most up-to-date stuff on the intro. This episode, we talked to the JAG guys, another group and podcast that started that reached out, said they were big fans, big listeners to us. So we're just trying to extend the olive branch and help them, reach some more people and have a voice out there to run, to get some people going to their podcast, and pretty solid dudes. I really enjoyed talking to them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get into the people that make this possible. We'll get into the show. Do you have the suicide prevention hotline?
Yeah, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. And this is something I was thinking about this week, Cody. Have you been affected by somebody committing suicide and that you know of or anything?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
I've had one. My cousin, back when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, he did. And, I didn't really know him such a great deal just because I was so young, and he was probably 25-ish, I think. So people are affected every day by this, and this is one thing that you can do to potentially help somebody out.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. Do you have Last Breath TV?
Yeah, guys, they just put out a turkey hunting episode on how to be successful reaping a turkey, something that I love to do. I have yet to find a workout that will prepare you for the amount of work that reaping a turkey is. It will smoke your shoulders, but it is an assload of fun to hunt them that way. And to be out into their environment and just being out in the wide open, because especially during turkey hunting, you're trying to be very concealed, slow moving due to their eyesight. But being out there in their element is actually pretty cool. So be sure to check that out on their podcast. And the turkey content, video-wise, is coming down the chute from them guys.
Yeah, they are just natural born stalkers out there for turkeys, man. They just reap the hell out of turkeys. That's something that me and we tried a couple times, but the deer birds are just a bunch of pussies out there. They don't want nothing to do with that
non-fighting
reaper. So we'll have to try some of my county birds and see what happens. But I think if we would have had a reaper that last year, fourth season, it'd have been game on. He's out there by himself, super fired up. So yeah, turkeys will be here before you know it. So I have the Exodus Trail Cam tip of the week. So last year about this time is when I found my smoking hot deal on SD cards, guys. So one thing we like to do is we mark our cams, and one trail cam, number one trail cam, gets 2 SD cards marked number 1. So you're not switching format, different cards, different cameras. And how many did I buy? Like 18 or something?
Yeah, it was up there.
And it wasn't very, I found that deal this time of the year on Amazon. And it seems like in the spring here, you can always find a quick deal on Amazon for some SD cards. So that's just a tip I want to throw out there. You got time now. Your cams aren't out. Try to get them organized, get those SD cards together, and be waiting for that deal to come on there and snag you. And because everybody has one SD card for a camera, I feel like that's what I used to do in the past. You know, I had one, and then you change it out, and you're in there. You're like, you flip through this card, nothing on that one, so you put it in the one you just pulled down. You know, it's just nice to have the dual SD cards. And another thing I really liked, I'm thinking about getting, is that desk organizer for the SD cards that Exodus has on their website.
Yeah,
super cool to be able to have them all numbered, put right there. As long as my kids didn't grab them and take off with them because they're out in the open, it'd be nice having them all right there where you could see them. When they're in that box, you're like, where's number 3? You know what I mean? And it's in the number 7 spot, but at least you could see it all out in the open there. So, all right. Is that it?
Nope. I want to get in here to Next Level. They are bringing in their spring and summer feed in full force. So if you guys are getting an order in there, that's what you are going to be receiving. And just think about it. Here in about another 2 months, bucks are going to be sprouting main beams and starting brow tines. So it's a time to get the feed out there for them if you're able to do that. And if you want to check them out, you can check them out at nextleveldeer.com.
Crazy that it's only going to be a couple months and sprouting or sprouting main beam. You know, I've seen pictures of stubs already.
Crazy.
I'm like, man, crazy. About ready to get right back in the shit.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, we had a lot of fun with these guys on the show. Like I said, check their show out if you want, looking for a new podcast to listen to. And here we go. All right, everybody. We got Jag Outdoors coming on with us tonight. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good.
Oh, no complaints.
We're fired up about to be on the podcast, man.
Heck yeah. Well, you're about to be on the podcast, and we are putting our videos on Last Breath TV's YouTube now, so you get double dip. So you be on YouTube and the podcast.
Hey, can't complain about that.
Yeah. So we met you guys on Instagram, started following your brand, listened to your podcast, and just a couple guys that I know that I would like. And it's cool being on Zoom. You can actually see each other, and we used to never do this. We just talk on the phone, but this is way better. But we wanted to have you on, let you get your brand out there a little bit. And you guys, kind of like us, had kind of a tougher season this year. It was when you start trying to kill mature deer, you're going to have those seasons that you just get your butt kicked. So we're going to brief touch on that. But just to get started, why don't each of you give a quick introduction of who you are?
Well, I'm Corbin Miller. I'm kind of the guy that started everything. Actually, me and Eric here started it. We were on the couch at his place drinking some Budweisers. We got a few too many deep, and we thought it was a good idea to open up an Instagram account. So, yeah, you laughed, but that's the God honest truth. But no, and then we recently got Kevin on board, and he's been probably the guy that really pulled it together. We started taking this serious just the past few years. So, but yeah, that's it for me as far as that goes. So,
yeah. Well, I'm Kevin Berkey. I actually went to school with Corbin and his older brother. And he just lives right up the road from me. So I've known them for, 15 years or so. And we've kind of just chatted on and off about hunting and stuff, but never really hunted together. And then about a year ago this time, he's like, hey, man, why don't you just come do some turkey hunting with us and stuff, and we'll just see how it goes. And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun, because I've always wanted to kind of do some filming of hunts and, post on that type of thing, but never been able to pull it together myself. So it was really cool to hook up with these guys and kind of get a chance to do that. So it's been fun. We started a podcast here recently too, so that's a little bit of a learning curve for us, I guess. It's been kind of rough, but it's been fun talking about hunting and stuff. Gets you fired up.
And then
we've been doing it 3.5 years. We're still learning. Still mess up multiple times. So don't feel bad.
We just recorded one last night with a guy, and we had terrible connection with, he was on the phone.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, we got to figure this out. We'll call you back and stuff. So, but we ended up working that out. So it's been okay, but just
the first round
curve.
of technical difficulties, it was a good time,
yeah,
to say the least.
Yeah, without homie, I'd be screwed on this thing. I got a phone on my end, and he's got all the shit out over there. Just
on a PJ Maxx table.
Yeah,
solid.
That's great.
We run a high dollar operation, okay? This is high dollar production, but
all right, Eric, how about you?
Well, my name's Eric Harsh. I literally met Kevin last year. And I met Corbin through hunting. Corbin mentioned he lives right up the road. He's the first one that'll be late. Like he's got,
get your digs in now. Let's go.
He's got a quarter mile and I got 40 minutes and I can still beat him.
Yeah.
And I met Corbin through waterfowl hunting. I don't even remember how many years ago that was, but
that was probably 4 or 5 years ago already. We met through a mutual friend, and then we started doing deer hunting together. He had a property down in Nashville, would be Nashville, Ohio, not Tennessee, for anybody that cares. But
yeah,
we had some slammers down there, to say the least. And then, we got one video up on YouTube, but it ain't nothing to brag about. But
well, it's better than this past year. I literally seen bucks, never shot except at a doe. And if you look at the Instagram, there's a slow motion video of me hitting this branch.
Mm-hmm.
And I've probably watched it more than anybody because I had to edit it. So I relived that moment, and that was literally the only shot I actually got off at a deer this year.
Yeah, all of your 2 sits in a tree. But yeah, that's kind of who we are. We all work full-time jobs. I get between 50 and 60 hours a weekend as an electrician. This guy drives trucks, so he's about never around and almost impossible to get a hold of. So
yeah, I think, well, to make it today, I drove, I think 670 miles. I left at 3:30 this morning.
Damn.
So I could be back in time for this.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you putting in the work.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's just a little bit about us. But yeah, you were saying about everybody having a tough season. It all started when, Kevin joined the group and we started turkey hunting, and then the birds did not cooperate
At all.
Hammering on the limb. We'd hear, we had a group of 5 birds or so, and
probably 4 or 5 birds.
And we probably heard 100, 120 gobbles in the morning. And as soon as they hit the ground, shut up, just like clockwork. And we tried to work those birds the better half of the season. And we never pulled it off. And then he went over and started hunting on his private, and he ended up killing 2 birds. So, yeah, it was a rough year in the turkey woods, to say the least. So.
Yeah, I think we got more video of me strutting, acting like a turkey than of actual turkeys themselves.
Yeah, we try to play the time the best way that we can. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, shout out to you guys for actually, starting a podcast and filming. A lot of people say they want to do it, want to start, and whether you got 1 video or 100, they never jump into it. So that's the first part, just jumping into it and seeing if it's something that you actually like, because you never know until you actually start taking the camera gear out there and shit, if you're going to like it or not. Or podcasting. Podcasting is much easier than filming once you get the hang of it.
Absolutely, 100%. Oh my God. I went out and I bought myself a fancy DSLR camera and all that stuff. And you would think that since you buy such a nice piece of equipment, that I'd be like, yep, I'm going to get this into the woods. Well, there's a lot of times that got a little heavy in the pack this year, and left in the truck. Yeah, because we all switched up. We kind of got into the hang and bang system and all that stuff, and stands, sticks, gear, clothes. You know it.
Yeah,
you lived it for a grueling rutcation.
Yeah, we did 18 days, and homie's lens, just the lens, one of them, and we take 2, sometimes 3, plus the body and the arm and everything. One lens is 7.5 pounds.
Oh.
So when you're talking about weight, plus your stand sticks. You just gotta rip it. That's why we call this guy to come help us drag the deer out. We need you to carry our backpacks and our bows. That's it.
Yep.
So much weight, but go
We're
ahead
trying
and
to work our way into that kind of stuff, and trying to get everybody's schedule lined up so we got everybody in the woods. Maybe even have one guy sacrificing to film just for another guy, and so we're working towards that. We're hoping this turkey season we're going to be able to put some stuff together. So
it's fun when you film together.
I was saying,
go ahead, homie.
You just got to decide like how much you really want that kill shot, because 8 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be able to get it, if you're self-filming, unless it plays out just like how you envision it happening.
Well, just like on YouTube, how it plays out exactly. On YouTube, man.
But you just got to decide, and that's what Cody and I, we had a couple good hunts, and, we did end up missing the kill shot, and it was due to self-filming, and we just decided, we really wanted that and to be able to watch it just for, numerous things, shot placement, what did the deer do, where did he go, just double check because shit ain't flowing, in your mind, when it's actually happening. And then you go back and like, oh, shit, I thought he went left here. So we just decided to make that sacrifice, and we haven't went back to self-filming yet. So if that tells you guys anything.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely got to give that a shot. That's a good tip to, chew on as we're trying to put our season together.
Yeah, and I mean, if we were just talking about the rutcation there, if I was out there by myself, there's no way I'd be able to do it. There's no way Cody'd be able to do it by himself. But when you got that other guy, maybe you're just having a hard time getting up this hill or something. But when you got somebody else there who might be on a high or, got some energy to get up there, you're like, all right, man, he made it. I can get my ass up there too. And it's just somebody to bring you up when you are down, or, vice versa. If you do get too high, be like, hey, man, just, let's settle down here. We're all right. So
think about what you just did.
and then just all the bullshitting and tree talk and all the stuff that doesn't happen to get captured on film, or some shit that does get on film. I get a, just like Eric was saying, he was editing, and I've watched a lot of our raw stuff, and I still laugh every single time I get to watch it.
Raw audio is straight fire. If we released everything that we said, like legitly when the deer come in, people go like, these guys are on another level.
All right,
what I like to do is I like to lead the way, and then when I know it's going to be like thick cockaburs, I kind of fall back. Let homie slide up in there and catch about 90% of them before I get in there.
Trust me, I catch them all.
Stuff right there, man.
That's a secret tip.
All right, one of my favorite raw audio is we were hunting. We're having a slow hunt, and I think it was just a weekend. We had kind of a long weekend, so we got out there a couple extra days, and I think I was actually Snapchatting it, and I told Cody, I said, hey, what's up? And he said, there ain't going to be shit out in these woods until I shit out in these woods. Having no hunting going on.
That's hilarious.
If it was like 5 years ago, I went to the bar right before I went out and ate, and I shit, air dump. 8 minutes later. 8 minutes later, dope, boom, done. I had to cut my boxers off, and those things hung in that tree in the bushes below for like 5-6 years after that. Probably still out there just soaking.
So
I'm sure every time you walk past that, you get to reminisce of the good times.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Every now and again, if like we're hunting a couple days in a row, I'll ask him, like, hey, what do you have for supper tonight? You're like, not bar hot wings.
Not bar hot
wings.
Hey, I didn't poop one time in the 18-day rutcation.
You did.
I did once. I did once midday. Yeah.
Yep.
At the base of the.
It was early on too. It was like day 2 or 3. It was early.
Yeah.
I was like, great. Here we go. We're setting the pace for the rest of this.
Gas station pizza working on you. Huh?
It was like midday though. It was like prime pooping time.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing moving around in the heat.
not a lot going on. Got to get down, but yeah. Okay, so JAG Outdoors. You guys kind of mentioned it, but let the listeners and the viewers just get a brief description of what you guys got going, what was the basis behind it, and what you plan on doing in the future here with it.
Ooh. I don't know. I might have to let these guys take a run with one of these questions.
Well, originally there was absolutely no plan. Like you said, we were literally sitting on a couch drinking, and we were like, "Oh, this is a good idea."
We're just getting to the point where there might be just a touch bit of structure in what we do. But no, we are the straight up redneck hillbilly. We wing everything that we do. Well, you know, we're going to try to add a camera more to it, you know, trying to get more stuff out there. I just asked him the other night when we were recording podcasts, when Eric wasn't here, I'm like, what is our goal here? And we're just like, well, let's just kind of see where the road takes us. We're not real.
No, I think it's more or less to get some content for like the average everyday hunters, just how we are.
Yeah.
You know, we work full time, and, you know, this year we couldn't really get a lot done, but, you know, in years past and stuff. So I guess we're just trying to put out content that, hey, just because you work 40 hours, you're married, you have kids, whether you do or you don't, you can still get out there, do some hunting. Public land's a lot tougher, but that's pretty much all we're left with this year. So
losing the lease, that's getting sold out from under me.
I bought a house, so I no longer hunt outside of Nashville.
Yeah, so we lost the 87 acres that he hunted on that he rented off a guy. So I guess we're going to just start grinding the axe on the public, because that's the only thing that we can rely on and get consistent. So we just mentioned before we started recording, we're going to run more trail cameras. We're going to try to put patterns together. We're going to strike while the iron's hot, and hopefully get it on film. I mean, yeah, like I said, we don't really have a set agenda as far as putting out content. It's just kind of as it comes in. And I mean, some people have liked it over the past year. I think before we started taking this seriously, we were sitting at a cool 39 followers. And then, you know, now we're sitting at a touch over 700 right now. So, I mean, people must like it some way. So,
yeah, I think it's that. Me and homie still don't have a plan for our podcast.
Yeah, I know.
We don't.
We're like, do you guys just sit down and be like,
I'm like,
what are we going to talk about this?
Fun. Yeah.
Like, you just sit down and be like, what are we going to talk about? And you're like, well, hunting. Well, okay, so we might need to dive in and get a little bit more precise about what we're doing here. So, we're trying to fill up as much airtime as we can, basically. But we struggle with the topics and whatnot. So,
I think you guys could just keep going on that. Just make it, you know, non-serious. Some people just want that kind of content. You know, if that's your guys' style of just kind of go roll with the punches, that's how I keep it. Just record when you can, film when you can, keep posting to Instagram, and people will find it. You know, if you want to grow and reach more people, connections, you meet so many cool people and chances to go on hunts. And if me and homie didn't have kids and wives, the amount of opportunities we've had to go hunt places, we wouldn't stay in Illinois and deer hunt at all. We'd be gone hunting other places. You know, it's just can't make it happen. But you guys can definitely do that through JAG, and, you know, people that are listening to this podcast. It's cool to make friends with like Nate and Scott. We never met those guys. We talked to them for like 2 years, just through Snapchat and Instagram and stuff. Then we finally met them 2 weekends ago, and it was like we were best friends for 5 years. You know, we're hugging, cracking beers, telling gay jokes, all kind. You know, we're living the life out there like we've been friends forever. You know, and it's just cool that social media is. There's goods and bads, but I think the goods outweigh it, because, like I said, we're Zoom calling now. If you guys didn't have a brand, we didn't have a podcast, we never would have met, never would have talked.
Right.
So small things equal big things in the end.
Yeah, it's a great platform to meet people. We've met some people, we've talked with some people. We've actually got lucky enough to run a giveaway with the turkey call company. So that was pretty sweet. And we made 2 guys pretty happy. The one guy was pretty fired up when he got his call and he was messaging us and whatnot. So yeah, I really enjoy that part of it. So
Nice. Yeah.
I actually got a little jealous and went out and bought a call from that company because like I seen it when we were doing a podcast and I was like, I need one of those.
Yeah, it's super nice stuff. So yeah, we were fortunate enough to be able to do that with them. But yeah, I enjoyed doing what we're doing. It's fun. We have a blast. We rip on each other hard all the time.
Yeah.
I take the brunt of the jokes because I'm always late. So
I'm
That's
always
all right.
like 1 minute on time, right on the nipple, man. homie is on time, but you got to add like a 20-minute buffer for him to get his shit out of his truck on his body to go hunting. So if you're going to go hunt with homie, 20-minute extra. I could show up 20 minutes late and still be ready to go before him.
if I get in a hurry, I start losing shit. It happens every time.
That release magically disappears.
Oh, let's not even get into that.
Oh no, please do elaborate. That'd be great.
But I wasn't hunting, but I was just a camera guy, and we parked at public, walked into the stand, and I reached out in my pocket, I think, to get a battery, and I realized my release wasn't there. I was like, man, I swear my release was in there last night after I got done hunting. I put it in there, and because I can, it has a button and a zipper. And I don't know if I took it out and put it on the side of my truck or if it just, fell out when I was changing pants. And so we were looking all the way back to the truck. And for my release in CRP field, Timber Creek, Bean field. So not a very high chance to find it. But we got back to the truck. It was laying right next to my door. I was like, all right, we got my release. I was ready to express one.
The real story is all day set. And we're in this tiny tree and the wind's blowing 40 miles an hour. So we're this close to each other, in this little tree. And 87 times I heard, damn it, I lost that release, man. He's like, never going to find that thing. 8 minutes later, oh, man, maybe it's at that creek we crossed. I'm like, maybe it is, bro. I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm trying to sit here and enjoy my hunt.
Yeah. We didn't see anything, though, so it wasn't a big deal. Absolutely
no,
not.
yeah.
You didn't need your release either, man.
Yeah. We found the release, and I was like, oh, it's perfect hunt, man. We traded no deer sightings for the release. It's a good deal. Paid off.
Oh, shoot.
All right. Well,
I think I also dropped my camera out of the tree that day.
Oh, yeah. The third time or the what?
Yeah. No, yeah. 18 feet in the air, lens on it, body, mic, the whole bit. Right down there.
Ooh.
Right down.
Our mic now been left in the woods for $700 mic setup. Been left in the woods for a week. Dropped out of the tree. It's got 2 zip ties on it. Everything we got, people were like, man, this is all polished and nice. This barely getting by. I was out here to start this podcast 32 seconds before it was time to start this podcast. Just barely getting by over here, but that's it. Our style. We can't change it. It's just how we are. It's tough.
Yeah. That's why we're gonna keep winging it too, man.
Yeah. Just
whatever comes, whatever happens.
If it's meant to happen, you make it happen.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so you guys had kind of a rough year last year. You're going to go all public land this year. We went 90% public last year, got our butts kicked. Did have some good encounters and stuff. Sound like you guys had some good encounters also, just couldn't seal the deal. You're going to run some more trail cameras, but is there anything else? You guys are 4 or 5 years into taking whitetail hunting really serious. I know there's a dude out there listening that's kind of probably in the same boat. What's some of the things you think that you might change up or add in to this year?
So last year, in Ohio, there's a bonus gun weekend after the week-long gun season.
Yeah.
And we went and scouted this new public piece that we had. Well, we turkey hunted last year, but we have never deer hunted it. And we walked like almost 8 miles on that Saturday to find some sign and stuff. It was more or less a scouting mission for us. And we found quite a bit of scrapes. So we set up some cameras on there, let them soak, and we just pulled those cameras the end of February, I'd say, mid part of February. Yeah. So we're still kind of gathering intel on that, and like times that the deer were moving and all that stuff. So we have a little bit to go on. We're going to put cameras out there again and see kind of, because we missed like prime time scrape season really, as far as late October, November. So we got a couple nice deer on there. So we're kind of fired up about that one location, but we also found a couple more hunter sign there too. So we don't know how heavily pressured it is early season. So we're going to try to do some more scouting.
Lots of straw hats with smoke poles.
A lot of Amish in the area. So
yeah.
So we're going to try to look for some more areas for like plan B, plan C. And then we're just going to, I don't know, just kind of not play it safe, kind of more risk it the first year and see kind of what pans out as far as getting in there tight, finding bedding areas like everybody else talks about. Get in there tight and try to get something done, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. We got, I don't know, we got 4 bucks in the 140 inch range, and that's kind of the standards that we're putting ourselves at right now. There's potential to shoot absolute monsters down there. But we're just in this one tiny section of like, what is it?
It's like 13,000 acres.
Yeah, 13,000 acres of public down there. Steep hill country, gonna have to put in the work to get back where we need to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna hit it hard. That's for sure. We're gonna make sure we got enough intel to go off of, and I mean that's pretty much it. We had a crap season last year as far as deer killing went.
One thing that we're going to try to do this year that might help you guys out of, I don't know how many cams that you're going to be running, but we'll probably be around the 40 mark or so.
We're not quite that high.
we run them too early last year, and we were almost burnt out on running cams before we really needed to run cams.
Okay.
So we're going to try to get them staged up maybe a month and a half before season, and trying to get out, instead of getting out there and getting those first growth picks. We're not going to try to do that. We're going to wait. And then we're also going to not try to target such a broad area. Mm-hmm. So if I was you guys, it sounds like you got like a huge giant piece. Instead of trying to like take it all at once, I just take like a 400 acre block, run some cams in that for a while, be like, okay, nothing here, then move, and run some cams there. We try to cover like a 600-700 acre piece, and it's just when it takes you an hour and a half to go pull one cam, and then you got to come back, and it's just not valuable in my opinion. Especially like you go all the way back there and you got 2 does and a forked horn on it, and you're like, damn, I just wasted 3 hours going to get this cam and coming back,
right?
And I got really no intel I can use. So once you kind of seems like you kind of got a baseline of where those bucks might be. Mm-hmm. So I try to target those cams in that area. And then if it pans out to be good, then but your cams will tell you if they're there or not. But we just spaced ourselves out really thin. We had awesome ideas, but when we were waking up and spending full days out there running cams from like sun up to, 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon. So, and it's hot. It's just not good for what we got going on.
We experienced that too.
I can't tell them the full story. It would take 2 podcasts, but we ended up being in some stuff that it was so thick. We split up like dumbasses, and we were like, that was the only time I've ever had to contemplate, like, I'm gonna have to sleep out here tonight in the woods and figure out where I'm gonna like camp out for the night, because I'm not gonna make it out here before dark.
Yeah.
And then homie had a night where it was raining and that same stuff. He was in there chasing a monster. It's raining and got turned around in the middle of the night, and couldn't get out.
Everything
Just-
looks the same. Like there's no
Yeah.
no giant oak tree that you can hang a right at and then go up 200 yards. You're gonna come to a bend in the creek, hop it, and then you pop out on a logging road. No, it's all just it all looks the same is the problem.
It's all
And there's-
bushes.
Yeah, it's all bushes, which I
Yeah.
like a good bush every now and again. But and there's no trails. The deer are taking 12 different trails. So they're zigzagging through there. So it's nothing clear cut. And it wasn't a very good night. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and it's and then we were back in there trying to run cams and that shit. And we got pictures of deer, but just getting a picture of a deer doesn't mean that he's huntable. You got to get a picture of a deer in a huntable area.
Right.
That's where we were like, okay, we got to kind of pinpoint them down. So that might help you guys out trying to, we spent all last year on public pretty much. And it was, but you guys said there's a lot of hunters in there. Me and Nick, we hunt a piece of public late season quite a bit. And I ran cams on it after both gun seasons, hundreds of people in there during the rut, and there's still bucks there. And I still got pictures in daylight, so those deer know how to evade those hunters. And there's going to be some spot that people just don't go for some reason. It might be far, it might be close, it might be, a back door or something. There's an area out there where they're going to find a spot, because you guys are in Ohio. There's 140 class deer. There's quite a few of them out there, just like here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of solid bucks around. So if you can, it's just running into one in bow range. That's our problem. If you want to see deer, I'm your guy. If you want to see giant deer, I'll let you see 190s running around, but they're not going to be in bow range. But if you get a gun, if you get a gun, boy, we're in business. We can kill some shit, but that's our problem. Just getting them in bow range. So
Yeah. And so where we had those cams from last year, 90% of the bucks that we got on camera, well, all of them except for one that we know for sure made it through the gun season.
Yeah.
But they've all been on at night. So we need to pinpoint from there where they're going or coming from food or bedding, and before they hit the scrape or after they hit the scrape, because some of them are like right after shooting light, but yet it's still after shooting light, so you can't do anything about it. So we have to do some more exploring in that area and find the hot zone, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. We just got to start tracking them back to where they like to be in the daylight, and that's all there is to it. But yeah, we got to put our nose down, because like you said, we don't run the volume of cameras that you just mentioned at 40, but we had 9 out there, 4 cell cams, so we got to see the pictures as they were coming in. So but even those 9 cameras, like you said, we kind of scattered them out pretty good, and it was pretty rough getting them all back, basically. Like you said, 8 miles. We were in 8 different pull offs, going back in, taking hour and a half to go back and get a camera, and then all of a sudden it's, I don't know, 5 o'clock and it's getting dark and it's time to go home. So there's actually one still hanging there right now because we didn't want to go get it.
Yeah, we still got
He's pointing at you.
We still got cams out. Nick scooped up like 6 of my cams this year. He'd be like, "Hey, I'm out.
That's
walking.
a good man right there.
I'm out hiking." He does weighted pack hikes all the time. He's like, "I'm out, hiking, and where's your cam out?" I'm like, "All right, there's this weird hedge tree like south of this creek." He's got a flip phone. Can't send him any
No pins at all.
shit or nothing. You know what I mean? He's like, "All right, what direction?" I'm like, "All right, west of the creek, 25 yards north. There's a tree. It's facing this way." And he's like, always finds it though. Always finds it. I send homie to find that cam doing that. Shit, dude would be at Walmart. Yeah, okay. In the cam aisle. What do you need to get?
He's not far off. He's not far off at all. Sometimes
does not
Cody's
know
west
north
is
and
not
south
like
at all.
legit west.
You get homie in the woods and there's any body of water close, he's just gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go right towards it." In the dark.
Oh, wow.
I love ripping on him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He'll get me on the next episode. Someone will say something about gun hunting, and it'll be like, oh, he's the gun hunter. Huh?
Yeah.
I know this guy.
Yeah. I was on the one we did with the 5-year bucks. I was like, I wanted to have like a hard line of like when you lost the lease, you'd be like, all right, everything before that, we need to take some inches off of that because that needs to be measured in SQI, not Booner.
Everything was in the fence before this, so you got to deduct a lot of the stats here. But after that, these are out of fence deer.
Yeah.
So I had a baller lease thanks to this guy. It's right out his back door, and we killed. I mean, the bucks you see here all came off of it. It was just phenomenal. And Nick says that it's just not as good anymore. So we must have killed all of them, all the big deer out there before we rolled out. So I guess we did something good.
Yeah. I
mean, I've seen a lot bigger deer out there, but I mean, I did put a hurting on them. That's for damn sure. But you got anything over there, homie?
I was just gonna go back to what they were talking about, running the cams on them scrapes, and we're talking about the late October time frame. You had one close to daylight. What we've been doing is when you do get one that is close to, or just after shooting light, but he hasn't made the time yet. That's when we start looking for that cold front to come in, and then that's where we're gonna go hunt that. I like to have a little moisture in the air during that time frame too. That'll be something that might kick them up a little bit earlier. Something I've keyed in and been successful on. And we actually had this kind of scenario pop up this past October, and we had a mobile cam on a scrape. He was hitting it at like 2:30, but it was every night from 2:30 to 4 that deer was going to be on there. And then he started getting earlier as October was passing by, and about the second week he was getting there about between 8:30 and 10 at night. And early October you can hunt until like 6:30. Yeah. And we were just getting ready to go in the next night, and then we lost the lease. But it would have been cool to know if that deer showed up on that scrape. And I mean, he was there 4 or 5 nights in a row, and then had a cold front. I was gonna go in and hunt, or we were gonna go in and hunt, and I mean, it could have been like textbook stuff. But
yeah, that's textbook. If you got one consistently hitting it, like even if it's dark and the rut's coming, or you get a cold front, that deer might not be as far away from that scrape as you think. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it's 30, 40, 50 minutes after dark, it's probably pretty damn close to that scrape. So, if you can play thinking about where he might be coming and go, hell, I'm just going to go 100 yards from this scrape, try to catch him in between. A lot of people hunt over the scrape, and I think that's good. But if you can get in between where you think he is, because all you got to do is see him one time, and then you kind of get a little bit more pieces to the puzzle. Every time we see one of our target deer, it's like a light bulb. Like all the trail camera data starts coming together a little bit better. We see how he works the land, because you get a picture, but you don't get to see like the line. And then when you see the line that he takes that he's comfortable with, then you're like, okay, you put that in the bank. Like he's comfortable working this ridge, right? If he's not chasing a doe or something, he's by himself. That's how he's going to work that ridge most of the time. So. Yeah.
So on that piece of public, we found all except one scrape on like the same elevation line. So we already know, we have to either set up on there, or depending on the wind and everything, maybe above it. But so we're not going to be sitting up on top of the ridges or down in the bottom. We already know, hey, we have to sit on this line, and we have to find out where they're coming from still. That's our big thing.
That's just the big thing right now. And like you said, like having that buck that consistently hits that scrape all the time. We actually got a series of pictures of the same buck hitting the same scrape 4 times in the same night. And it was just like, he's got to be close, like you said. But, it was, what was it? I think the one time it was actually 15 minutes apart. He came back and actually freshened it again. And that was towards the first part of January, which was kind of crazy to me. I haven't really experienced anything like that before. So, it's going to be, I got high hopes for the season. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be keeping up with you guys, and hopefully you all kill a monster out there. And
That's the goal, man.
The one good thing about it is what me and homie are finding out is hunting public is hard, but once you kind of got an idea after a few years, you can have those encounters with the deer. You might not kill them, but once you figure out where they're at, and as long as a bunch of people don't come in there and mess it up, it's just like private how the deer are going to be doing the same thing. So you can put that in the back burner like, okay, it's November. I'm going to try to push over here. But if someone comes in there and messes up, you got to change it up. But once the year's consistently on a piece, I think that is one of the least talked about tactics or most useful things is people travel and they hunt this lease or hunt this place. Now we're going to go over here and try this piece. Now we're going to go down to Shawnee and try this piece. Consistently on a year after year, like the buck I killed this year, we seen a giant do something. We moved the stands. The next morning I killed my deer doing the exact same thing that deer was doing.
Yeah.
So it's just learning that property. And it sounds like you guys got a good grasp on it walking through there. So I'll be excited to see what you guys do this year.
Yeah, we're excited about it too. We're going to kind of focus on that one area where we found all those scrapes and stuff and kind of, like you said, just target one area of the big piece. So that's kind of where we're going to put the most of our eggs out of the basket, I'd say.
Yep. Gonna have to let the trail cameras do the work.
Yeah, you put many eggs in there, you figure out if it's a shit basket or a solid basket.
Yeah.
Like, this is shit. We did that this year. We ran some cams. We're like, this is a spot. We had like 8 in there. Dog shit. Absolute shit. So take them all out.
We actually wasted 2 nights of going in there to try to hunt, and there's just absolutely no spot. You just get in there and you just kind of feel it like, hell yeah, I'm going to set up here, and you feel pumped about it. Man, one night we just literally walked around, and the other night I was like, there's only one tree here.
Yeah. Get down in there, the wind's doing 9 different directions.
And it's literally like right next to a wall of thorns. Like, I'm like, ain't no deer gonna come out of there. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. It was a wall, legit wall.
Yeah. They come out of there somehow, though. I don't know.
I think they pop out on the top and then circle back around.
Yeah. All right. Well, let the listeners know where they can find you, your Instagram, YouTube, your podcast, all that good jazz.
Go for it.
JAG Outdoors Co. on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube it is JAG Outdoor Co. as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So all three are
you
the
guys
same.
are on. You guys are on Spotify. That's where I listen to you guys. Are you guys on iTunes now or just Spotify?
No, I've just figured out how to put it on Spotify, so we're just going to kind of run on that for a little while.
Right on.
So,
yeah. Apple products are a pain in the ass. So
baby steps, man.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
I remember when homie was reading off the guidelines to get us on Apple. We were like, "What is this even mean right now?"
The clip art, bro.
You need a certain megapixel size clip art. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
And then the resize your image, it's like resizemyimage.com. Looks like a sketchy ass website, but it works. It is what it is here.
Send it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm getting a virus.
If you need something and you put .com behind it, there's something there for you.
Yeah. So for when we launched our first podcast, we already said it's going to launch on Tuesday, whatever date. And it was like Tuesday morning, and I'm still trying to figure out how to actually take the feed, put it on the website and launch it. And I hit launch and it said it needed to verify something. So I texted these guys. I'm like, I think I did the thing right. I don't know. You guys tell me in an hour if it's aired or not. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Is it up there or is it not up there?
Exactly.
Up
but
there?
I think so. We got Spotify down now, and that we're just gonna roll with that. I think
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good plan. So
we got a lot of things to figure out. I got to figure out how to run a DSLR properly, and I've been watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and probably should have started with a Tacticam would have been probably a good idea, but jump head first into it and just wing it, man.
Yeah. If you need some help, we're not specialists, but I can dummy it down to what I needed to know when I started.
Yeah.
And there's only 4 things you need to know, and then you can get decent stuff. But when you watch all those videos, they're like, yeah, we're going to take the E-log put it into S-Log. You're like, okay. I know that shit now. But back then, I'm like, I don't need any of this stuff. But yeah, send me a message on Instagram, and I'll be like, 4 things. You get that down, you'll be solid. So
cool. That sounds like a good plan. We're gonna definitely take you up on that.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's been a blast, man.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. I really enjoyed talking to these boys from JAG. Couple solid dudes. They put in some work to meet up with us. They thought it was a big deal coming on our show. We were like, man, if you knew how podunk this operation is, you wouldn't think it's a big deal. But like I said, it was a great time talking to them, and just a couple guys out there just trying to start something, have fun, make some memories, and kill deer like everybody else out there. But all right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. The next episode is hilarious. I can't wait for listeners to hear that. And the one after that, the content's just epic. I can't wait to have him on again. So a couple really solid episodes coming after this one, guys. So remember, try to always do the right thing, leave a legacy, and Whitetail Legacy's out.